Welcome to my top 10 list of games that have native ultra-wide support that does not require a fix. And you know how it is, we love those games, so the more the better. So let's break it down. Okay, first up on the list is Days Gone. Now, this game went under the radar a little bit during the PS4, and even when it came to PC, it was still under the radar a little bit as well. And which is weird because it's got such good production value, a decent story, and it runs fantastic. It's probably one of the most optimized open world game out there right now, and it deserves a lot more recognition, I think. And it's a shame because I mean, it's not the best PS4 exclusive to come to the PC, but it definitely deserves a lot more recognition. And it's one of those games I think you should definitely try to get a hold of and play it during a Steam sale or something like that, because it took me 50 hours to pretty much complete the campaign, do everything there is to do in every camp, and at the end of it, I had a great time. It ran fantastic. The engine is perfect. Tight gunplay. The gunfire sounds fantastic. It runs like a dream, like I said, and overall, it's a decent story. And you won't remember. I mean, the characters aren't that memorable, but like I said, it's a good, fun single-player story if you're looking for that kind of sort of stuff. Now, this next game is one of those games that just came out of nowhere and just became one of my favorite indie game of the year, and that's Riff Breaker. Now, I knew nothing about this game. Hadn't seen any trailer or anything like that. It just happened to drop on Steam, and it was like top 10. I checked it out, and it just kind of like jived with me, and I bought it, played it, and it's just one of my favorite indie game of the year. And I'm not even into RTS. It's a mix of RTS and a little bit of RPG. When you're not building the base, you're out exploring and gathering materials and killing monster. And the graphic is just amazing. It's beautiful. It runs really well. I didn't have any problems, glitches, or anything like that. It just ran like a dream. And it's one of those games, I think. It's got a good soundtrack too, pretty catchy as well. And again, I definitely highly recommend picking up this indie title, even if you're not real big into RTS. It does, at the very end, can be a little bit overwhelming, but the game does a great job of building up to that. So have fun if you do pick it up. Next up is Resident Evil Village. Now, I was a little worried that this game didn't have proper ultra-wide support because 7 didn't. But it was one of the best ultra-wide support out there this year, and it just happened to be a great Resident Evil game. And yeah, it ran really well. Gunplay is tight, and it's actually pretty scary again. I had a great time, and I replayed it a few times, and it's overall, it's just, you know, a good Resident Evil in third person. I hope they go back to third person though on the next one after RE4 remake. But yeah, I don't know of anyone that hasn't played this. If you haven't, I do recommend pick it up. Now, Bright Memory is a indie title that I backed it a few years ago, and it was back then it was just one guy making it, but I think he finally created a studio after the success of the demo he released it a few years ago, and finally the game released it, and it turned out really well. Perfect ultra-wide support, and looks beautiful with all ray tracing and you know, DLSS enabled and everything. The game, I remember, is a little slower than originally, but I still enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It's only a few hours to beat the single player campaign, but again, it's an indie title made by only by a few people. So yeah, check it out. I highly recommend it as well. Next game needs no introduction, Halo Infinite. Now, I'm not a big Halo guy, but the single-player campaign was interesting, and I haven't played 3, 4, or anything like that, so I don't really follow the Halo universe, but I enjoyed it, the campaign. I haven't finished it, but from what I play, the graphics is really nice, and the sound effect is Halo, the usual Halo. Although the hit detection could use a little work. Overall, perfect ultra wide support, and it looks really good. A lot better than the demo they released it last year. Forza 5, the bigger and better version of Forza 4. Again, just like 4, perfect ultra wide. It's one of those games where you don't really have to be a racing person to enjoy the game. It's very simplistic. Just play it with a controller. Although I do have a wheel and pedal and all that stuff, I don't really use it. Like I said, I'm not really a big racer, but I enjoyed playing it more on the controller. So it's pretty chill. Sit back and look at some nice cars and just play, and it looks beautiful in ultra wide as well. Alright, next up is Battlefield 2042. Now, I'm not really big into Battlefield anymore, but it is fun to just pick up and play, and it still looks really nice and it sounds great. It's Battlefield after all, and yeah, I mean, I got it for free with the bundle that I bought with hard drive, but it's a fun game. Nothing really different from the previous Battlefield. Ultra wide is excellent. Yeah, I can't complain there. So if you're into shooter, you can't really go wrong with Battlefield. I admit, Hitman 3 is the only game on this list that I have not played, but I do know that it supports perfect ultra wide if it's anything like Hitman 2. The reason I haven't played it is because it's a Epic exclusive, and I do not like the Epic exclusivity thing that they have going on. So I've been holding out for a very long time. So it's the only game I haven't tried, but from what I've seen, it is perfect wide, ultra wide, just like Hitman 2. So hopefully when it comes out on Steam, I'll be able to play it. The Medium is a game that really scratched that Resident Evil fixed the camera itch. It looks, and when you're playing it, it looks and feels, you kind of wish when you're playing it like this would be the next Resident Evil, because it just captures that really well. But unfortunately, it's not. But the game in itself is really good. It just so happened it's in third person with fixed the camera, and I couldn't help with while playing. I was keep thinking the next Resident Evil should be something like this. So yeah, before when it initially released, it didn't have ultra wide support, but after patch 1.2, it is now native support. So that's good, and I highly recommend this game. It's also on Xbox Game Pass, so definitely check it out. Last on the list, Alien Fireteam Elite. Like the Medium, Aliens didn't have full ultra wide support, but after patch 1.01, it's now fully supported. So that's really good, because this is a really fun game when you're playing it with friends or just people online goofing around. I don't really recommend buying it just to play it solo. You can, but definitely if you can, try to find people to play with. It's also currently available on Xbox Game Pass as well, so that's another good title to check out. Alright, so that wraps up my top 10 games with native ultra wide support right off the box. Now, I admit though, it's when I was making this video, it's definitely hard to narrow down all the games. So we're not there yet. So hopefully 2022 we'll get more games that are natively supported, so we don't have to go through all that fixing every single time. So yeah, if there's any game that I miss, let me know. I might have missed a few games, I don't know. But let's hope 2022 will be the year developer embrace ultra wide a little bit more, and we're off to a good start though with God of War coming out pretty soon. So look forward to that one. Definitely be covering that game, break it down as well. So until then, Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.